it's not about money. It's not about business ambition. It's not about all this. It's a human adventure driven by passion.
Welcome, Alexandre Fauvet, for this interview for Art of Snow magazine. We are really happy to have you back here on our channel. And just repeat what you just told me. Where are you at the moment?
Well, first of all, I'm very, very honored for this invitation, Daniel. Very, very happy to be able to discuss with you, exchange, and yes, indeed, I'm in Shanghai. I'm in Shanghai today, and you can see the background behind me. It's our new store. It's our new flagship store that just opened, in fact, this morning in Shanghai. So I'm virtually in Shanghai because obviously, unfortunately, as you know, because of this lockdown in France, I couldn't fly over. But I'm so proud that we made it. And in fact, you know, with this crisis, you have superpowers. You have superpowers, like you understand that you can do things like 10,000 kilometers away.
So at the moment you have 3 stores, I think, or planned 3 stores in China, Shanghai, Beijing, and Hangzhou.
And Hangzhou, Hangzhou that we open, like Hangzhou is Alibaba city.
Okay.
You know Alibaba group,
yeah.
of course. And it's like 2 hours drive from Shanghai. It's a lovely place, very touristic place in China actually. And yeah, indeed, like in a couple of days from now, we're hoping we'll open, in Beijing. In Beijing, a very nice store as well. So it will be 3 stores in all for this year, and hopefully, obviously, expanding the brand for the next years.
And you have also stores in Tokyo, in Japan, or Korea?
No, actually, we started with Seoul.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, to start a business in Asia, because we believe that, and we still believe that Korea has a sort of like a leadership influence on fashion, architecture, arts, that probably had Japan in the past. And those guys are very dynamic. They're looking forward to new things, to the future. And that was, in that respect, that was interesting for us to start in implementing our first flagship store for Asia in Seoul, and then from that base expand.
How was your personal relationship to the people in Asia, and perhaps is there a specific connection between Fusalp and Asia? It seems like.
Well, look, first of all, personally, I lived in Asia. So,
okay.
And I was basically raised in business in Asia, and based out of Seoul. To be honest with you, to be frank with you, so I have personal connections. And Fusalp developed quite a strong business in Japan in the
old days,
the year 70s. Fusalp was very strong in Japan, and you know that probably Japan, it was the start of a big boom in the ski industry that actually made Japan the #1 market in the world in the late 90s.
Wow.
And then it blast out. But so we Fusalp benefited from this trend at that time. Yeah. What we did is that we thought that the first step to really develop then directly with a retail network, the US and Canada, was to start first of all with London. And that's why we opened up a flagship store in London, in the heart of London, Chelsea district, last year.
How do you market the US and Canada?
Well, directly with key customers, for instance, in Aspen, in Vale, and we go direct. But we don't have a distribution setup for the time being. Yeah. And what I must say is that we're investing directly in our businesses outside of France, so through retail subsidiaries. That's the case in Korea, that's the case in China, that's actually the case in Switzerland, in Norway, where we open also a flagship store in Oslo, and that's the case in the UK, and that will be the case in the US and Canada as well. So obviously that requires a lot of investments, money. Yeah. The first store that we opened was for our first collection, was in the heart of Paris. It was not in the mountains, it was not in the ski resorts, it was in Paris. Why? Because we wanted to have the window and to show our savoir-faire, new collections to the world, to the French, of course, but also to the international crowd, to the tourists that would come to Paris, and see what's the newest brands coming up, blah, blah, blah. So in fact, it allowed us to test our products, and the appeal, attractiveness of our products to the Americans or the Japanese and the Asians and so forth. Yeah. That was very interesting. It was like a laboratory for us. Okay, so it's not like we went, to those places like blind. We have confidence in what we're doing, even though we have still a lot to do, of course, to strengthen the collections, the brands, and so forth. It's about controlling your brand. You have the direct connection to the customers, to the clients. That's very true. I'm an ex-Lacoste. I was with Lacoste for 15 years. So running the international business for Lacoste, started with Asia, of course, and then the rest of the world. Yes, indeed, there are connections. It's clear. There are connections because sports, because fashion, because sportswear, because the vision, in fact, of the world, which is changing dramatically. And we, in fact, if you like, you can realize what our lives are today. We are super active, from the morning to the evening, always super active in everything that we're doing. We simply need products, outfits that can accompany us through the day, but also when we travel, of course, when we ride a bike or a scooter or whatever, mixing up performance of movement, so to ease the movement or to free the movement with some sort of course, style and elegance, as you know. What we're saying here is that we're trying to conceive products that, like, for instance, a jacket, you would wear it like in Zurich, for instance, close to your place, all right, and then, Friday evening, you decide, because it's nice weather, to go to St. Moritz skiing or Gstaad or wherever it is in Switzerland. And you know what? With our products, you're going to ski with the same jacket. The heart of our ambition is to be performant, to be effective with the way we construct the product. And please allow me to make the connection with one of the probably best Swiss champions of all time. Not in ski, could be ski, but here, what I have in mind, I'm sorry, it's tennis. That's my old Lacoste roots. And it's Roger, of course, Roger Federer. And Roger, the way he plays, technically, it's just perfection, and style is perfection. And you don't need to add anything else.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect gesture. Just the perfect gesture becomes a beautiful gesture. And I think it's the same in actually fashion. But then what is true is that we need to have fun also, okay? We should not be boring in wearing, products. It's like, the shirt that you're wearing today. It's a fun yet elegant shirt, right? And we're trying to do a bit the same. And here comes the colors, the colorways with which Mathilde, our creative director, is playing, and she's so gifted at playing with the colors in an harmonious way. And this is for me, this is critical as well. And then you were mentioning about the collaborations that we're putting in place. Yes, indeed. And the collaboration with Chloé, the Chloé Maison, is super important for us because it's all about, femininity mixed with technical skills, with a common sort of like vision about what the French elegance should be, somewhat, And first of all, it's not a marketing thing. It's like sort of like encounter between two creative directors that are like, they have the fit. It's a matter of fit, in fact. And
two spirits meeting, huh?
Exactly. And then it's obviously also two maisons, two brands that are meeting, and they're very complementary in terms of skills, in terms of know-how, Because basically the idea, and we've been working for like 2 years on this. It's not, again, something that we've done like that.
Yeah.
We investigated, we made research, and to come up with something because we wanted to come up with something different from what was existing on the marketplace, And when you have the ambition to be different, it takes a bit of time, of course. I must say that about, the technical skills and know-how of Fusalp, you have the development of materials. The materials are super, super important. That has been the success of Fusalp in the 50s. Fusalp was born in 52, actually same year as Chloé brand, by chance, in 52. And here, probably the materials that we're using the most on this collection and that we're using a lot across the products that we have is coming from where? From Switzerland.
Well, very impressive what you're telling us, really. We can feel your engagement and your passion. Perhaps passion is a key point for Fusalp, or it seems like. If you look back at Olympics, you had a lot of success at Olympic Games, at World Championships in former times, and you're coming back and you're going to China, and probably you will be present at Olympic Games in 22, I think.
Yeah, we're definitely driven by passion. Just an anecdote, my first speech when I joined Fusalp with Sophie and Philippe Lacoste, it was January 2014, and I'm meeting the people here in Annecy, and I do my speech, and I had a paperboard, and I asked for a paperboard behind me, and that was simply to put one word on this paperboard, what you just said, passion. Passion.
Yeah.
And it's all about passion. So it's not about money, it's not about business ambition, it's not about all this. It's a human adventure driven by passion. And the beauty of Fusalp is that, we cannot expect to have more than what we have. Here, we are in the mountains. It's a great scenery, of course. It's a beautiful historical heritage brand, and we're trying to make the best possible products, and it's about quality, and it's kind of like super cool, when sometimes you like thinking about what you could do without compromise. No compromise. And that's our ultimate goal, I think. To do the best possible products.
I can feel you're constantly moving forward, even in crisis.
Oh yeah.
This is.
You cannot imagine how I'm moving in my head. Like last night at 4:00 in the morning, I was like awake and said, "Oh, Fusalp in 2023, 2024. I had ideas in mind." And I'm nuts. I'm totally nuts. No, but we no. You know, the thing is that we are having fun. we are having a lot of fun.